Let's look at non-defining relative clauses. Some people call them extra information clauses. Now don't panic, they're very similar to the clauses that you have seen before. The previous types of relative clause help explain which thing or person because we don't know. But a non-defining relative clause gives us extra information about things or people which we already know or which don't need explaining. They work in the same way as other relative clauses, but there are added commas. Let's look at some examples. My car is very old, it is parked on the street. Here is the sentence with the relative clause. My car, comma, which is parked in the street, comma, is very old. We know which car, because I only have one. As it is a non-defining relative clause, we have commas before and after the clause. We don't need to say which car, because we know which car. These clauses are like saying, by the way, here is some extra information about this thing or person. Of course, if I have more than one car, then I need a defining relative clause. My car which is parked on the street is very old, with no commas. This means that the car on the street is very old, but my other car in the garage isn't. That's a defining relative clause with no commas. This is a very small difference here. However, there is one important difference. We can't use that for non-defining relative clauses. Look at this example. This is an extra information clause because there is only one moon. We don't need to say which one. Here's another. Tom Hanks, comma, who lives in Malibu, comma, drives a hybrid car. We use commas because it's an extra information clause. There is only one famous Tom Hanks, and the listener knows who we are talking about. Of course, there is more than one Tom Hanks in the world. So let's say we have a group of 3 or 4 Tom Hankses, and we want to define which one. The one in Malibu. That would be a defining relative clause with no commas, but we would have to say the Tom Hanks who lives in Malibu drives a hybrid car. How can we make a sentence with a relative clause from these? My mother feels satisfied with life. Her job is interesting. We write, my mother, comma, whose job is interesting, comma, feels satisfied with life. There are commas because I don't need to define which mother. I only have one mother. And most people do as well, although there are some with 2 mothers. Here's another example. Hong Kong is expensive. My brother lives there. We write, Hong Kong, comma, where my brother lives, is very expensive. It's with commas because there's only one Hong Kong. Practice time. Are these right or wrong? Correct the wrong ones. It's right, but only if you have more than one brother and you need to define which one. If you only have one brother, then there would be commas. This is wrong. It should be which, not there, because you are replacing it. It is near London, or Watford is near London. You are not replacing in Watford. But we still need the commas because there's only one Watford. This is wrong. There's only one Germany, so you need commas. Germany, comma, which is in the centre of Europe, comma, is very cold in the winter. This is wrong. Which type of man? We are not being specific about a man whom we know, and we're not giving extra information about an undefined type of man. Here we are specifying which type of man. A man whose house is big is usually rich, so there are no commas. This is right. It's extra information about me. This is wrong. We need commas because there is only one sky. If you look in the Resources folder, you'll see some practice on this, so download the non-defining relative clause practice sheet, then answer the questions and check your answers.